Masters Coliseum. I think you guys know the drill. You guys know what's on the line, but we can still take a little look at the playoff bracket and all the other good things that come along with it. Today we're going to do 2 best of 5s and a best of 7. So today should actually be a relatively long day. And especially with these two in the opening match, I mean, that should be a 1 hour plus best of 5, right? No matter who wins it. I don't feel particularly strong about anybody winning it. Maybe you guys have stronger takes than me. A while ago, I would have said Serral. Right now, I legitimately don't know. I think it is pretty open. I think they can both win. Reynor Hero, I think, is going to be a bit shorter than Maru Serral, but this best of 7 should always take a little while because no matter who wins out of these 4, this should also be close. And then it should be a lot of games. And maybe some of those games will be long. So I'm honestly expecting to be here for like 4 or 5 hours, guys. Thank you to Last Link. Thank you to Brett. I really appreciate it. 50 months, by the way, mate. Half a century indeed. Let's go. Didn't even see. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm just ready for a good day of video games. Right? It says 303040. Don't know about that. That'd be nice for Basilisk, but will these casts get up to YouTube eventually? I can't skip sleeping tonight. I don't know if anybody is going to put it on YouTube. I don't really upload this stuff on YouTube because to me that just seems like flooding the internet with nonsense. But you can obviously always watch it back on Twitch. And if you say, but Roddy, your VODs are behind the sub wall, you can watch it over at Waddy. You can watch it over at Cranky Ducklings. So you can definitely watch these games. If you want to watch me specifically, I think you have to do it on Twitch. Hearthstone is also doing it live on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So there's so many ways to watch these games. I'm excited for it, guys. I think today is going to be a sick day. Hype, 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 hype. Somebody's at my front door again. My mom? My mom is here, guys. Why is my mom here? Let me open the door for my mom. Maru isn't even here. A Roddy mom, guys. Maru at the door now. No, well, it's not Maru. What it will be is Maru versus Serral, a best of 5. The nerds battled it out against each other in the Swiss format group stage. That best of 3 went to Maru, and it went to Maru pretty convincingly. It was a 2-0, and there wasn't really a whole lot to say about it. I think overall, that man has been looking mighty fine lately. In the bottom right side, representing ONSYDE Gaming for the first of many video games today, it is our Korean Terran GOAT, Maru. In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of Basilisk, the very own Jonas Sotala, the Finnish Phenom, the Finnish GOAT. A battle of a bunch of absolute animals over here in our first best of 5 of the day. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
As we are not getting proxied, I can take a tiny look, guys, at what my mom is up to. Well, she's having a conversation with Vicky. Maybe she'll talk to me soon. Knowing the timing of my family, guys, expect a Hellion run by, a Liberator to siege up, and 16 Marines to have 3 fights at once. And at that point, my mom is like, "Hi, Kevin." Hello, buddy. Someone do? My mom brought McDonald's gloves and McDonald's socks, guys. She just wanted to bring some McDonald's merchandise. That is what's happening over here. Are you living at your parents' house or are they visiting? I live in my mom's basement, actually, mate. I am very fortunate that whenever there is good StarCraft, she lets me out. Most of the time, she locks me up. I'm not allowed to go anywhere, but my mom said, if Maru and Reynor are playing, then you're allowed to come upstairs and I can sit in the living room for a little bit. So that's very nice of my mom. I am very, very grateful. Ja, Reynor is in de chat. Als hij hallo wil zeggen, dat kan. Ja, hij was er net. Reynor, my mom wants to say hi. Hij zegt,
I don't can see
ja, hier. RB Reynor.
it. Oh, I'm right, but no picture.
Nee, no picture.
Oh,
Hij zei dat je League of Legends van hem mocht spelen boven. Nee. Oké, veel plezier ma. Tot ziens. She's now gonna take care of Jax, my nephew. Her grandson. Maybe she can cast a bit? Well, I actually have a clip of my mom winning a video game once. You guys won't notice, but my mom actually is a bit of a StarCraft 2 goat as well. She has played one game in her life and she won. So, yeah, you guys won't believe it, but I have evidence after this game. For now, let's go ahead and focus a little bit on our very first best of 5, as Maru has gone for a triple Reaper opening. 100% win rate and successfully retired, guys. Let me guess, he's a toss main. You are correct. The only games he ever played was with Trotos. No. I've got the whole clip for you guys, don't worry. Did you tease Reynor for playing League to your mom? Well, I just said what Reynor said in the chat. And then my mom said, oh, I don't know why, but I guess he doesn't like League. I mean, my mom doesn't know much about the games. I was playing Warcraft 3 every single day. First when I lived with my mom, and then later on... Actually, I always lived with my mom when I was playing Warcraft. And then when StarCraft 2 came out, the only conclusion that my mom ever came to is that the guy with the green face is gone. Because I would always build a Farseer, and that Farseer face was always over here, right, in the bottom. So after me switching to StarCraft for like 6 months, she was like, hey, the green guy is gone. I was like, yes, mom, the green guy is gone. There's no green over here. Serral was enjoying an 11 worker lead, 4.5 minutes into Hardlet. Felt that the Reapers didn't do a whole lot. Obviously, I got a tiny bit distracted there, guys, but my mom is gone right now. It's all fine. Yes, Serral has a bunch of Zerglings over here with speed. Grabs one of the Reapers, so loses a few links in the process. The follow-up of Maru is going to be pretty quick stim. We've got a couple of very early Widow Mines on the production tab. So that man apparently does not believe in any tanks at all, or Hellions for that matter. Bit surprising though to see this opening. Straight into mines, guys. No Hellions, no Cyclones, no safety tank whatsoever. We are just going straight into mines. A 4 Widow Mine drop. Does Maru thinks he's playing against Protoss or something? What's happening over here, guys? Serral isn't going to win the series, but I can't wait for people to say Serral beating Maru in an online event means he's the GOAT. You seem very fun, mate. Please give us more of your amazing takes. We want to hear all about it. First Widow Mine gets picked up. The second one does fire and gets a couple of drones. The third one only gets a single link. So I have a hard time imagining that Maru is incredibly happy with this start, as he is going to try to become Liquid Clément over here. Woo! Does save that mine. Was very close. Serral tiny bit late with sending the drones back to mining. This medevac is going to get picked off as well. I mean, that wasn't very hot at all, guys. We lost a medevac. We lost 4 Widow Mines. We killed a Zergling and 2 drones. I'm not a Terran expert, but that's not exactly why I would open up with a quad Widow Mine drop. Why don't Protoss players just defend Widow Mines like Serral, huh? I don't think the Widow Mine is a problem at all. I'll let you know why, guys, because we don't have fucking queens, okay? Serral, that made it look easy, but overall I am not in love with this opening. That's a big supply block on Maru's side, guys. 93 out of 93. And he's now going to fire up triple depot. Bit of a shaky start for our Korean Terran. It's a long series. There is no need to get carried away. It's obviously still upper bracket of the tournament as well, but not the cleanest start here for ONSYDE Gaming's Maru. You say this series is already over? Hardlet is a map where I think Terran can always drag it out for a little while. Even if the starts aren't all that hot, I think Maru is obviously incredibly good in just surviving, stabilizing, and dragging it to the late game. And unlike some of the other Terrans, there's something happening in the main, by the way, but they're not showing us. It is a Widow Mine drop. second Widowmine drop of the game. This time around, Maru gets 3 drones. Does save the medevac, does save the Widowmines, but not fantastic. Serral is also thinking that it's his time to deal a little bit of economic damage. He grabs 5 SCVs for 4 banelings. I think overall that's acceptable for Maru. Funny start here between these two. 8 minutes into Hardlet. Second factory is going to come online. Serral's working with double Evo. He has been able to get his hands on the center base. This is that moment where it is very important that Serral always has enough banelings though. Because if you take one bad fight, the marine count is pretty freaking high. And obviously a marine mine can snowball like no tomorrow. You're one devastating Widow mine hit away from basically being out of links or banes, and then you're in serious trouble. Serral's up to 75 drones and he's sneaking out a few more. This is where once more it gets a little bit scary. I hope he's paying attention against them mines. Hey, that was actually decent. Sure, 5 or so banelings went down, but the 2 Widow mines went down as well, as those banelings will connect with the marines. So Maru ends up losing a lot more marines than he's supposed to lose. Tries to show over the Widow mine drop one more time in the main. That one gets denied as well. Honestly, I can think Serral is absolutely cooking here in game 1. Partly because he is playing amazing. Partly because Maru looks a tiny bit sloppy so far. Just not very clean. I don't think that was F2 on the medevac. I think he just tried to Widow mine drop. I think he just tried to create some more chaos, knowing that most of Serral's units were on the right side. Obviously, Serral is now a tiny bit out of position, so all the creep tumors do get cleaned up, and maybe Maru is able to grab a few workers here. Yeah, 4. Alright. Maru definitely needed that. 74 SCVs, that is obviously pretty good, as Serral is potentially setting up a pretty big baneling run by. Maru is sending out a lot of forces in the center. Drilling class is about to finish up. 2-2 is about to kick in. That obviously means that Maru will have another shot in finding some damage. Serral knows that Maru is moving out, so he is going to show up with all these banes. Good reaction time this time around by Maru. Is supply blocked again after losing all of those depots, as Ben would call them. Since our boy Benjamin Baker is going to cast I Am Katowice, we're going to call them depots for a bit. A depot. Serral shows up for round 2. Will get, wow, 9. That didn't look like 9, but okay. Surprised that he got 9 there. Widow mine gets a pretty decent connection. That is like minus 15 or so Zerglings, but Serral is maxed out. Hive is close to finishing up. We've got a Lurk again on the way. I haven't seen a Ghost Academy yet. Maybe I've missed it. Serral does cancel that hatchery as well, so he's on point in that regard. Benny with the raid. Hello, Benny. Did I, with my little eye, see you play some video games this morning? How did it go? I'm curious, Ben. Do we still have it, mate? You know, by the way, Ben, your Wings of Liberty Classic is coming back a little bit. The Proxy 2 Rex with 3 bunkers as a wall off. It's coming back, mate. Serral is going to shove a bunch of Lynx and Banes and a couple of Hydras in the face of Maru. And he has a lot of extra units showing up. Maru is going to unload over here on the top left side. All hell is breaking loose. This Orbital is in trouble. The SCVs, sure, they're probably going to die. I actually would love to see the Hydras go for that Orbital there, guys. With that many Lynx and Banes to still keep those Hydras alive. I mean, Maru is just kind of dead here, no? Isn't he just getting completely overrun? Like he gets a cancel on the 6th base or whatever the hell it is from Serral, but meanwhile he's losing 26. Serral should maybe kill that command center there. That's not being built. If you don't want to kill the Orbital, you should have at least clicked on the command center and forced a cancel there to slow down a potential new base of Maru. First game does not feel ultra competitive to me, but maybe I'm wrong. And maybe Maru is going to make me look silly. We know that he's capable of it. 12 minutes in, it feels like a Yona domination. You say you spotted the first mistake? No, at the Reynor glance? Well, take a shot then, mate. I mean, I wouldn't say this is all being quite as perfect as the ZVZ we saw from Serral. Because that was just ridiculous. Where he played against Solar. We have Ghost, Liberators, and Widowmines on the way. Obviously, Serral, I think if you can end it early against Maru, you absolutely want to do it. This is not a man that you want to ever let recover. Army supplies are somewhat close, but a lot of Maru's units are still in production. A couple of lightning clouds will land on the tanks. We have a tiny abduct on one of the Liberators. Does not get the kill. The Lurker gets obliterated by the tanks as well. Maru knows that whatever he tried to do in the first 12 minutes, it didn't really work out. So now there is only one real opportunity to make something of this game. And that is just dig in your heels properly and try to survive for the longest time. Very similar to that Legacy of the Void campaign mission, where you know wave after wave is coming, but you just have to defend to the best of your abilities. I don't think Maru is going to be able to hang in there all that long. But haven't we been wrong so many times in the past when Maru had a bad start? And he says, well, a lesser Terran may die, but I'm not dying. Let's see, the Planetary Fortress is not ready yet, and Maru's just going to cancel it because he doesn't want to lose a PF on the ground against all these Lings and Banes that show up. Banelings crashing into Ghosts as well. A couple of the Ghosts have died. There are still so many Banelings remaining, guys. And that means that we're going to lose another 20 SCVs. The Ghosts and Marauders are still running, and not even Maru can drag this game out. GG. Well, game 1, all Yona. Reynor says he's behind, but it's still very playable. I'm not sure if you're trolling, Reynor. The game is over, mate. Oh, you were making fun. Okay. Alright. Alright. We'll let you get away with it. Yeah, no, he felt that. I mean, I said it after 10 minutes. It just didn't feel that anything went Maru's way. Overall, a bit of a weird opening. And the first 4 mines did so damn little. Like, there is no universe in which you can justify losing a medevac and 4 Widow Mines to kill 2 drones and a Ling. And a tiny bit of lost mining time. Second Widow Mine dropped slightly better, but still nothing to really brag about. And the 93 out of 93 supply block was proper big. Serral strikes back and makes us forget about that little best of 3 that we saw in the Swiss format real quick. But hey, it's only the very first game. That game probably was on US West though, so that is important to keep in mind. That was a Maru map pick, and that was Maru preferred server. So Serral actually off to an amazing start in this upper bracket best of 5. Top left side of Golden Aura, the man who's going to try to clean things up and do better. ONSYDE Gaming's Maru. In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man, who's obviously going all out at the moment as well. As we are getting closer and closer to IEM Katowice. And he would love to win that tournament for the second time in his career. BASILISK Serral. And not to forget that there is $17,000 on the line for this online tourney, which is very big. Actually just got a message as well from someone that I had a lovely meeting with yesterday, but I did tell him that I was going to stream StarCraft around this time, and I don't know if he actually realized that that I'm live. Oh. 1 second, guys. I'm just answering this. This is for the good of the StarCraft 2 scene. This is not for me. This is for the good of the StarCraft 2 scene. Good. All right. Done. Done. Who are you arguing with, Reynor? Are you arguing with CHZ Sandwich? Please don't. Someone was telling me Maru is better than Clem. I mean, some people will just always say certain things. they root for players. Obviously, Maru is incredibly good. And I think it is important to keep in mind when you're comparing two of the absolute best Terran players in the world, that there will be different things in the game that one is better at than the other. Like, in my eyes, this is an opinion, so you guys don't have to get angry at me. You guys can disagree with me all you want, it's completely fine. In my eyes, what I think is that Clem is a bit better. But I don't think that Clem is better in every element of StarCraft 2. There are certain things that Maru is absolutely better at than Clem. And there are many things that I think Clem is a little bit better at than Maru. They are both fucking amazing, and they're both incredibly good. But nobody is going to be better in every single aspect than the other guy. This is actually indeed a pretty big scout, as we have a slow Zergling just very casually running into the main base, and now Serral gets the confirmation that we have a pretty quick starport, and that the command center is a little bit later. This Ling might actually be able to spot the third CC as well. That's obviously not going to be the most surprising thing on this planet, but now you know that it's 2 Hellions. Did he see that CC? I assume that he did. So I think overall, no, he did not see that one yet, but I'm sure that he was expecting that. And yeah, that's absolutely the case as well, right? AMABV. If we go over an entire month, not every single day is Clem going to perform better than Maru. Just like not every single day Maru will perform better than Clem. Like, you're watching guys that play a very difficult video game, which is why we love it, at an incredibly high level. And sometimes you're going to be on fire and you'll play even better. And some days you're going to be alright, but not quite at the top of your game. And not to forget that there is a tiny bit of RNG in StarCraft as well, right? It is a game of skill, but when the skill levels are incredibly close to one another, there are some things as being a little bit lucky or being a bit unlucky. All of that will come into play when it comes down to certain results. Well, TTA Larkin, the community is divided, right? Because there was one guy from Bulgaria, from Varna, who believed that I hate Clem. But then there was another dude who said that I am obsessed with Clem and everything evolves around Clem. And the fact that I'm talking about Clem during Maru versus Serral, that dude may be onto something. Anyway, we've got a bit of a mech follow-up, guys. We've got Hyperflight Rotors, we've got Hurricane Thrusters. So Serral got scouted early on. I don't know if Serral really saw... I said Serral got scouted, but Maru is obviously the one that got scouted. And Maru is going to show up with a lot of Hellions and relatively quick Banshee speed. And then a crazy amount of Cyclones too. I think, personally, that Maru has been watching a little bit of Big Gabe. And Maru saw, you know what, Big Gabe may be trolling on the ladder a little bit. But the moment he's busting it out in tournaments as well, he may be onto something. Ooh, Maru just loses a Banshee like that. Maru loses a full HP Banshee in the center of the map, not even close to getting any drones. I mean, I'm sorry guys, but so far Maru just doesn't look that sharp in this best of 5. That is the only conclusion we can really draw. Maru got a 2-0 victory over Serral in the Swiss format group stage, and he looked amazing in those games. He looked clean, he looked on point. It was very obvious where he wanted to go, and almost every single thing he came up with, it worked out. In this best of 5, I would say his openings are not working out at all. Let's see if the follow-up can go a little bit better. Veiling speed is 60% done for Serral. We've got a Spire close to finishing up as well. There's plenty of free supply to fire up a whole bunch of Mutas. And he is actually gonna make some Mutalisks. Maybe in Serral's mind, Maru was going to show up with a lot of Banshees, make Banshees non-stop. I think a Ling bangs around as that tiny Ling run by the way, is actually perfectly well timed. As most of the units of Maru are out of position, Maru is going to try to stack the SCVs to the best of his ability, but he's lost 5. Don't forget that a lot of these SCVs are low on HP. This is going to make it a bit easier for Serral's Mutalisk maybe to get on top of the middle line and kill it, or the next Ling run by to be a bit more devastating. You do need to be really careful with Mutalisk against Cyclones, because Cyclones can kill Mutas real freaking quick. Mutas can also kill Cyclones quick. There goes those low HP Mutalisk or low HP SCVs, guys. This is maybe a tiny bit risky, but okay. Serral knows what he's doing. What are the Banshees up to, guys? The Banshees are getting on top of the triangle. That is a lot of dead SCVs. And really not that many dead Mutas yet. The Banshees don't get a lot done on the other side of the map. I would hate this position for Maru. To go with our favorite Mixu quote, this position is actually hell for the Terran. But when Mixu said it, he was wrong. But I don't think that Maru is actually enjoying this spot very much. Couple of Thors on the way. Obviously the Big Daddy Thor can spice things up. Maru looks a little bit unhappy. Does still have 73 SCVs, so that part is excellent. He's gonna fire up 6 missile turrets at once. Serral should have a very fun time here with 88 drones, double evo, +1 flyer attacks on the way. Got the infestation pit coming online. It's not the worst, but I have a hard time imagining that Maru is happy with how these first 9 minutes went. I also think it's a matter of time before Serral is gonna show up as a maxed out Zerg. And we're gonna send in wave after wave, and even if the fights may not be the prettiest, I think they will always be good enough. Prince Vic, this game should be on US Central. Reynor can obviously confirm that for you guys, and I think he has confirmed that. I think the server order in these best of 5s is always West, Central, West, Central, West. So 3 times the Koreans get a little advantage. 2 times the Europeans get a decent advantage. This should be on the US West server. Overseer, by the way, trying to give some detection. One of the Banshees died. We have Lynx, by the way, and Bane's crashing into the 3rd base of Maru. Serral's now at 92 drones. If our drone count is that freaking high, it is definitely important that we keep on trading and that we keep on battling. By the way, Reynor, I don't know if you saw my game on Equilibrium, but another morning classic, baby. I don't know how I do it. I think you would have loved it. High-level video gaming. 11 minutes, 1 base, double Stargate, one of them unpowered, and I beat a 5.6k Zerg. If you see that game, you're gonna get angry. I promise you. You will actually get angry. 12 SCVs dying as Serral just has a good time. Rallying a couple of units in. It is very important for Serral to keep on finding some damage. If our work count is this freaking high and we're already getting our hands on the bottom left side, we want to make sure that we find some damage, that we trade a little bit, that we keep Maru somewhat broke. And then the best part obviously is going to be when Maru is going to try to go up to 5 bases. Right now he's actually floating. Oh, that's a little bit risky. I think this is where Serral is going to have to be a little bit more committed. You don't want Maru to chill on 5 bases. Because if he does that, then you could basically prepare yourself for a 35-minute game. That's not the best Muta movement there. Serral was a little bit ahead with the Mutas there, as the Roaches, Lings, and Banes were not quite there yet. They are here right now. I'm not sure about this fight, guys. I kind of think that Maru has a pretty powerful army here. And Maru has a whole bunch of extra units show up as well. I mean, these are the trades that we were talking about, but I'm not sure if this was a trade or a donation. It felt more like a dono to me. If Maru was a streamer, he would say thanks, subs. Serral right now the biggest D of the month on the Maru stream. Risen Eternal, mate. Slow down. I don't know what's happening, but I want you to slow down. Could you do that for me? That would make me very happy. I am not enjoying these vibes in the chat. And some people may think, but that doesn't matter, Roddy. Oh, it does matter. I don't get paid to cast these games. I do it because I love it. I love watching StarCraft. I love sharing my passion with you guys. And it is very important that I have a good time on my own channel. So, Risen Eternal, you slow down, sir. Tiny Ling run by, perfectly well timed. We're going to surround a Thor, and look at how quick all of those SCVs are dying. Maru, one of his tanks got abducted, so that tank is going to fall as well. You know, as good as Maru's army looked on his side of the map, I'm not super impressed by this army, especially not on creep against this many roaches, banelings, vipers, as blinding clouds are going to land. The tank line is relatively deep, but there is just very little firepower left over. It does seem that Serral missed a couple of corrosive balls there, but honestly, I think we can get away with that, guys. He has done a lot of economic damage on the other side of the map. Somehow that Thor survived. I don't know how that happened, but okay. Yeah, having to repair it is also expensive. You gotta love them Zergling run-bys as they are just nibbling away. And these SCVs, 4 more go down. You know what Serral needs to do, guys? Take out that sensor tower, baby. There's 4 SCVs. Lightning run-by, maybe. Do we already have Burrow, by the way? Not for burrowed banelings, don't worry. I won't talk to you guys about burrowed banelings. We do have Burrow, but for the Zergling run-bys, it's obviously excellent. It just forces your opponent to pay more attention. It's going to tax their multitasking. You throw down a scan, you don't even get all of them. And even 2 Lings, guys, if you're not paying attention, can kill SCVs very quickly. Lings getting on top of goals. 2 tanks die very quickly. One of the goals will end up falling. Is this enough veins to kill a PF? That is not quite the case, but the reinforcements have arrived. The second wave of Roaches and Ravages and Banelings. Serral doesn't quite want to go for it yet. I don't hate what Serral is doing, even if some of the fights were a tiny bit reckless. I think it is okay. I much rather see this than see both of them sit at 7k, 7k. Because those are not the most enjoyable games. A, from a neutral spectator point of view, and B, from a Zork point of view. Reynor in Montreal was definitely not his first tournament. First tournament that Reynor played for, well, I mean, he did a lot of tournaments. But when he turned 16, Valencia was first, where Reynor actually made it to the quarterfinals and did not lose a single map until he made it into the quarterfinals. But then he ran into Yona, and then Yona 3-0'd Reynor. But when Reynor was 15, he went to WESG, and he made the quarterfinals of a big tournament in China. And he actually got paid $10,000 for making top 8 as a 15-year-old. And for all the other tournaments, he had to be 16. And of course, when Reynor was a proper tiny kid, he also played in DreamHack Masters Valencia once and made like round of 16, 12 or 13. We got some great content out of that one. So Montreal was definitely not Reynor appearing out of nowhere. It was the first time he made it to the finals of a big international event. He was around for a while. Serral is going to send a lot of Lings, Ultras and Banes on top of this base at 9 o'clock. We land a little Blinding Cloud as well. Look at the Sharking Infestors as we're going to go for a couple of Neural Parasites, baby. 3 Thors now belong to Serral as the ghosts are running very far away. Now what are we going to do with these Thors if Neurals run out because we don't have energy for days? I mean, pretty fun fight. Serral obviously still mining quite a bit more than Maru is, and I think as long as Serral can keep these current economic conditions, all of these moves are fine. But it is super important that it stays like this, where he keeps on killing a couple of SCVs, where he makes sure that he's mining of the corner base and Maru is not. Serral is now going to try to take that base at 9 o'clock as well, but then the center one. If Serral had a little more energy there, or a few more infestors, and he could have renewed those neuroparasites, I think then it could have been very big. But if buts and maybes do not count. Sensor tower does not show invisible units or burrowed units, no. I mean, come on, they are good enough the way they are, mate. You're giving me a heart attack over here with those ideas. Don't give the balance council any ideas over here, my friend. They are fine just the way they are. Before you know it, you inspire the wrong individual. Planetary Fortress in the top side is a little bit exposed, so the PF does get picked off. The sensor tower falls as well. Maru, by the way, is working on all of his bio upgrades. I don't think that's because he actually wants to all of a sudden play bio, but that's obviously for the ghost. Maru knows the ultimate unit that is going to make sure that this game goes on for a very long time is the ghost. And sure, snipe is their real power, but having them just deal a bit more basic damage is not bad, and making them more tanky is absolutely not bad. So This is maybe the one moment ever where I would actually say that armor upgrades are more important than attack for bio. But it's obviously nice to get both of them. Tiny Blinding Cloud is going to land. The second Blinding Cloud goes down as well. And we have one Ultra getting on top of the Ghost. But the Ghost will activate Personal Cloaking. This fight, it's a lot of expensive units dying on both sides. But I still like these kind of fights for Serral. Keep that bank of the Terran player low. Reset that mech count over and over again. Maybe Neuroparasite EMP? EMP, baby! Bam! Little taste of your own recipe there. Not all the Ghosts got EMP there, but quite a few. Lovely move by Serral. And yeah, the Investor even lives. It's pretty big. Maru is slowly dying, but it's kind of felt like that since minute 7, right? Don't forget that the opening of Maru did not work out at all. Especially losing one of your 2 Banshees the way he did. So the fact that we're now in a 19-minute game, if you are a Maru fan, that's gotta give you a little bit of a hope. Maru is not dead, but he is just in a bit of trouble. And he is just not able to get comfortable. I think Serral is doing a very good job in not making this a comfortable game for Maru. But Maru is absolutely not dead. He has won these games time and time again. And I think we all know that. So Maru is slowly falling. Somebody said slowly dying. I didn't say that. Yeah, no, Maru is an absolute stud when it comes to just hanging in there. And he doesn't look dangerous. It's kind of like when you find a tiny kitty on the street. And you're like, oh, that kitty is so cute. I'm just going to go ahead and make it my pet. But then it turns out that that kitty is a fucking puma. And then it just grows and grows. And one day it just eats you alive. And you're like, oh, fuck. Should have left it in the jungle, baby. But Serral knows that. And I'm sure that he does not see Maru as a sweet kitty. Anti-armor missile is going to land on a lot of the Ultras, Lings, and Base. But the Blinding Clouds are fantastic again. The Ghost, though, as long as the Ghost stays safe, guys, Maru is going to be fine. And these Ghosts look pretty damn safe to me. Did not get all the Ultras. Serral at the moment is mining of both of the corner bases. And this is something that is very important and absolutely worth keeping your eye on. Because in Golden Aura, it's almost impossible to mine off one of your opponent's bases. But the corner bases, there's 2 of them. Serral has almost mined out the bottom left side already. So if Serral is also able to mine off the top right, that is really going to give him a massive advantage in the long run. I think we had another Sharking Infestor here, but that one Raven, the Twitch Chat Raven, as I like to call it, actually I think revealed that Infestor. You know, for all the crap we gave Twitch Chat, that was a great idea by Twitch Chat. Just one late game Raven, guys. Link's running on top of the triangle again. 4 SCVs dying, a couple of them are very low on HP. And the bottom left side did get taken care of now. But if you're Maru, you don't really want the bottom left anymore. Because that is honestly like getting a pizza that's been laying in the kitchen for 2 days. And there's no microwave around. It's like, well, I kind of want the top right. Another Sharking Infestor will get revealed by that Raven. This is going to be an important fight here, guys. Can Serral actually do something about that Ghost count that has been ever climbing? Seems like the answer to the question is no. This was a terrible fight for Serral. And an absolutely fantastic trade for Maru. That was, what, 6,000 resources disappearing? Oh my, oh my. Whatever Serral had in mind there did not work out. And every single Ghost of Maru survived. And Maru is immediately going to do something about it. Very important base in the top right. Serral has now spent his entire piggy bank on 15 Broodlords. Well, if those 15 Broodlords can kill the Ghost, we love it. Scan does not reveal them, by the way. Yeah. Nice for... yeah, how the hell do you kill all the Ghosts? There's a bunch of Medevacs in the mix as well. Obviously, Vipers could abduct. 7 Infestors. Serral was sitting on thousands of gas. And he's like, well, let me go ahead and make 7 Infestors. Long distance mining a tiny bit from the bottom left. Still has an economy, but the next fight for Serral is going to have to go a whole lot better than the previous one. That was not it. By far and away the best fight that Maru has taken in the entire game. The Puma got hungry, baby. That Puma sharpened its nails overnight. And it got a little hungry. Oh, Maru is not just alive right now. Maru is fucking cooking, mate. There was a time where we could talk about Maru hanging in there and being alive. And I did point out many times that it was far from over. And Maru is an absolute stud in hanging in there and surviving. And as long as that ghost count keeps climbing and whatever fight happens, if Maru can just keep the ghost alive, he's going to be somewhat happy. You saw Serral sigh? Yeah, of course. Serral looks at that army and he's like, well, what do you do? Well, Ultra is trying to take control of the Xel'Naga Watchtower there, but Maru is now slowly but steady making progress with Liberators, Thors, Hellbats, and above all, guys, all those ghosts. Probably looking at 15 or so ghosts that are out. Maru throws down a scan, but if I was Maru, I would not be too bothered about this base. There's barely any gas left, there's barely any minerals left. It's all about the top right. This right here is the base that matters. Both players know that. Alright, nice job there with the Broodlords, actually taking out one of the tanks that was controlling the Xel'Naga Watchtower. We land an Abduct on a Liberator, but we're gonna need to land another Abduct. Honestly, we are lucky that the Liberator didn't fly away, because I think otherwise we would have used another Abduct. Yeah, he does, Reynor. Baka Stormgate is also, I think he's a troll. He's just somebody who's going to be on the verge of incredibly annoying for long enough until you ban him, and then he's like, oh, I got banned by RotterdaM, we such did. Meanwhile, they ignore the part where they were like semi-trolling for 27 hours. Because one of the nukes is going to land. But Serral saw it. The red dot was revealed. He's going to move back. What can Serral do, guys? Can we get some magic out of the Broodlords? Can we get some magic out of the Infestors or the Vipers? That magic needs to happen sooner rather than later, because the longer this game will go on, the better it's going to get for Maru, as we do land a Fungal on a decent amount of the Hellbats, and land a couple of Abducts on the Thors. Those are big targets, obviously. But I think Serral is afraid that if he tries to get his spellcasters in range, all the ghosts are on the right side, as they are going to try to land a couple of snipes. Broodlords are so bad these days. Well, they're different, right? They're definitely not as good as they once upon a time were, but they are a lot faster, which makes them more fun to look at. And look at those bad Broodlords go, mate. Look at those bad Broodlords go. They do kill the planetary, so that's nice. I think Serral is just waiting for that one opportunity where Maru slips up a tiny bit and maybe a Fungal can connect. Maybe the Broodlings can show up in big numbers, and perhaps the Banelings can reveal themselves too. It is big that Maru casually killed the planetary fortress. Is this a MOBA mod? Yes. It has been created in the Dota 2 Valve Steam custom mode, whatever they have. Their arcade. They've been developing an RTS, and this is what they came up with. Pretty good, but I do miss the Shadow Fiend. Kinda wish they would have at least teleported the Shadow Fiend into this game, but other than that, they've done a good job with it. Shout out to Gabe, and I'm not talking about Big Gabe. I'm talking about Gaben. We couldn't have done it without him. Viking count pretty damn high as they one-shot not one but two Broodlords. You see all those Vikings clumped up. Yeah, you dream of a Fungal, and especially a parasitic bomb. But it is hard to land as one of the ghosts is going to move forward. Two EMPs go down. One of them connected with one of the Vipers, I believe. Look at these two armies of absolute death staring at each other. This kind of feels like the Cold War, but then Maru is America. As we do land a couple of fungals, and we do land a few parasitic bombs. And that was actually not too bad on Serral's side. That's a lot of expensive units that Maru just lost there. And I don't see a crazy amount of ghosts. I see a decent amount of ghosts, but I don't see a crazy amount of ghosts. We do have a couple of extra Thors show up. Serral's got a 41 army supply lead, guys. As he's going for the old trick of having a changeling forward and then he's attacking the changeling, so we're actually getting a lot of rootlings on the ground. Or he's just attacking whatever the hell he can. As another fungal lands on the Vikings are damn low on HP. We are one additional fungal or one additional parabomb away from all of those mech units dying. And Maru is actually temporarily retreating. Where he's like, you know what? That Yona guy has a lot. So Serral had the top right, then Maru had the top right, and now Serral's got the top right again. And then it is also important to keep in mind that the entire bottom left side has been mined out by Serral. As Maru now drops a fusion core. Well, Serral did that incredibly well, guys. He stayed very calm, cool, composed, in the face of a lot of Thors, a lot of ghosts. Honestly, did pretty damn good. I think I like it a bit more for Serral again at this point, and I like it for Maru. Earlier, I really liked it for Maru. Maru clearly struggled. Yeah, at the top right, fight. Basically had many small fights, no all-out big fights. Just a couple of covered ops. The intelligence agencies duking it out with each other rather than the armies battling. Great little run by here, as that is minus 20 SCVs that quick. Now, I don't think Maru really needs all that many SCVs anymore. He simply doesn't have the place to put them. Most of the mineral patches have been mined out. Most of the refineries has been mined out. So, I think 42 SCVs is pretty acceptable. If I was Maru, I wouldn't rebuild any workers. This does obviously mean that Maru can now get more army supply. Earlier we were looking at 100 or so army supply of Maru against 140 of Serral. How are the fights and exchanges going to look if Maru too shows up with 140 army supply or even more? Unlike a lot of the other Terrans we have seen over the last few days, and especially Cure, Maru is gonna get advanced ballistics before he even has a Liberator. Makes a pretty big difference, guys. And he's obviously building 4 at a time right now. We are back to where we once upon a time were. This is kind of like out of superhero movies, like, so we meet again. It's a Dragon Ball Z episode. Serral also realized that he doesn't need all that many workers. So he's sending a couple of his drones to the other side of the map. The Viking micro pretty good so far on the side of Maru, as he's getting a couple of free pickups. 141 army supply against 154. And obviously neither player has the bank to rebuild. This is kind of it, guys. It comes down to these two armies. The next fight is probably going to be the game deciding fight. If Serral wins it, I don't see how Maru recovers. If Maru wins the fight and takes the top right side, I don't see how Serral rebuilds. Slow and steady. It is always difficult to be the one that is going to engage, because the moment you move forward, your units are going to clump up a tiny bit, and that is where the spellcasting of your enemy can be a lot more effective. Double Abductor did land on 2 of those lips, but there will be plenty of additional Liberators that Maru can still crank out. I do think that time is off the essay though, or whatever they say. Because at this point, Serral's mining quite a bit more than Maru. Maru's mining like 200 minerals a minute. Serral's mining 1500 essence. Yeah. That's what I kind of thought, but I was like, essay? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not in high school anymore. Essence. There we go. Thank you, man. You see the income over here at the bottom side of our screen. This is nothing. Maru is almost mining nothing. Serral has a decent 1 base economy, which may not be much, but 1 base against 0 is a big difference. Unless Maru is just gonna go for the most cost-effective game of all time. Look at these drones, by the way. Did the drones kill the starport? Did that drone run by get the starport, guys? That'd be something. think it did. Sick! Maru temporarily goes back to take care of a couple of these lings and drones that were attacking his buildings and obviously just distracting him with non-stop alerts. Down to 30 SCVs, no money at all. Zero income for Maru. The entire bottom left side has been mined out by Serral as we are entering minute 34. I mean, Maru knows the longer he waits, technically the worse it gets, unless he just says, you know what, I don't want to take a bad fight, you mine out the entire rock top right. We're gonna just never attack each other. There's a couple of fungals do land, and these units that Maru is losing over here, guys, these are units that Maru is never getting back. Because he is just not mining. He's doing his best to find an opening, but he just possibly cannot attack into Serral at the moment. He's now gonna move the Thors forward. And this is it. The moment we have all been waiting for as Bruce Buffer gets the arena walled. We have a whole bunch of Thors. The Spore Crawlers, by the way, getting kills. Those are big, because that's Liberator right now as well. Almost getting completely taken out by the Spores. Infestors coming from the top. A couple of Neuroparasites will land. Can the Ghosts take care of the Infestors? The few Neurals. I mean, the Vikings are doing that thing. There are 3 very low HP Ghosts in the back. A couple of Rootlings could kill these Ghosts. Maru's supply is plummeting, but does Serral still have anti-air left? Yes, in the name of Fungo and a couple of Corruptors, and I think those couple of Corruptors, is that good enough then? We need a few more, but he's got 9 more on the way. 9 Corruptors and 8 Queens, guys. Is that good enough? What a fight. Can we land another Fungo? I think Serral's done it. As scary as maybe a bunch of Vikings attacking an army that cannot fight up, Serral should absolutely have done it with all those Queens on the way, with all those Corruptors on the way. We're just gonna land 1 or 2 more Fungals. Maybe Maru can float over a base to the top right, but obviously Serral still has money to make links too. And links can make this game hell for the Terran. My audio just went boo-boo. I think that's not on me, guys. The audio is gone, but it doesn't matter, as every single Viking is going to die. That is on the stream. That is not on my part. But this game should be over. The final Vikings have died. Looked maybe a tiny bit scary for Serral at one point, but he had money to make extra Corruptors. He had money to make Queens. And GG gets called. We can take a look at their Twitch stream. If the YouTube stream is not working, maybe their Twitch stream is working. Serral takes the 2-0 lead after a 36-minute game or whatever the hell it was. That is pretty big, guys. 2-0 in a best of 5. Where is my backup stream, guys? Does Twitch have audio? Nope. All the audio is gone. Are the other casters complaining yet? For some reason, I have no audio coming out of Chrome. Oh. I know what I've done. I'm a fucking idiot. I have muted my Go XLR. I muted my Go XLR while I tried to increase and lower the audio. We're back, baby! We are back. I was like, why does Spotify work? But it's all good, guys. I do this for a living. I'm very good at it. Round 3.
Round 3. Fight.
J-Power, in my defense, I've only had a Go XLR for like a year, okay? This happens. This happens. Bottom left side of Solaris. We are looking at the main base of the man who's down 0-2 after a slugfest on Golden Aura. Can he turn things around? He won 2-0 in the group stage of the Swiss format. It's ONSYDE Gaming's Maru. Top right side, we are looking at the main base of the Finnish Phenom. Looking mighty fine in these playoffs so far. Is he now 5-0, guys? It is Basilisk Serral. I believe Serral 3-0 Solar, right? What is the NASL sound guy? Well, I did work for NASL. No. The NASL sound guy was actually a very sweet dude. I've said this many times. He's actually very good at his job. And he was a very sweet dude. It's just that NASL as a company overall was very incompetent. So they basically fucked shit up. And then obviously people blamed the actual sound guy. But we had a sound guy. And he was very talented. He's a sweet dude. His name was Elliot, in case you guys wonder. It was not his fault. I went full Matt Damon on him. I was like, it's not your fault, mate. It's not your fault. I know that it's a meme that has even transcended the StarCraft 2 scene. I watch Dota tournaments and people talk about the NASL sound guy. Bug, by the way, with the Reaper. You gotta pay attention, Maru. I think even in League and Dota, people talk about the NASL sound guy, which It's quite fascinating. He's a sweet dude, I promise. It was not his fault. Today, guys, we have 2 best of 5s and a best of 7. So don't just leave the stream or close any of the other streams that you may be watching if this best of 5 is over and Reynor vs. Hero is over, because the winners will also play against each other. He missed the Polt Viking. A lot of people do that Polt Viking right now, right? I think in the old days, we were just not that spoiled and we didn't have that many amazing tournaments to watch and cover. So you could kind of like make things exclusive to one player, even though a lot of people were probably doing it. These days, there's just so much freaking StarCraft to watch. Reynor says, this might be the cure build. Lip, I think. Yep. What are you yapping about, mate? Are you yapping in my chat over here? Serral's gonna send an Overlord in from the bottom, as the Queen movement has been good. There are a couple of drones there that are long distance mining, by the way. Goat recognizes goat. I see a long distance miner from miles away. Yona knows what's good for him. Triple Reaper, 4 Hellions. We're probably gonna have those. What is the Starper then up to? I think the Liberator is making its way to the top side of the map. Moving very quick. It's almost moving too quick for that to be a Liberator, but okay. Things just look very quick. It's hard to follow it sometimes because I'm obviously not in the game, so I can only watch what they show me. Is Serral paying attention? Yes, he is. Serral's actually looking at the main. Maru was looking at the main. The WTL Observer is looking at the Hellions, guys. There is a dance happening right now between the Liberator and the Queen. But the WTL Observer didn't give a fuck. He's like, but look at these Hellions. They're going so fast through the acceleration zone. It's like, ah! It's not the most important fight right now, mate. 2 medevacs are going to carry 11 Marines. That is an odd number. Literally and figuratively. But okay. 46 SCVs on the side of Maru, as these 11 Marines are going to go for the main. Is Maru going to unload all of those units in the main and then at the same time send it into that? Yeah, well, the Lynx can only be at one place. The Lynx are going to get on top of those Marines immediately. 1 or 2 Marines went down. Again, the Reapers and Hellions get a cancel on the hatch. I kind of think the answer to the question is yes, guys. Queens do not move very quick off creep, and we can obviously spam grenades. Please cancel, Yona. Serral will cancel, but they'll still end up losing the drone, and is now a 3-base Zerg. And nobody wants to be a 3-base Zerg. That would be awesome, Winged. Imagine if we could customize StarCraft like that. That is something that, if you think of stuff where Blizzard could have made money, imagine if you could buy something for like $3 and then your Hellions can spam a sound. So you have a tiny Baneling run by in the triangle of Maru, killing 6 SCVs, not bad, and didn't even use all of the Banes. So you spend $3 and now whenever you press a button, your Hellions can make a sound. That'd be sick. Doing run-bys and then going like... That would be the best $3 I ever spent. Be sick. Serral's now going to try to get his hands on this very rich Vespine guy in their bases. There were some Banelings from both angles. Overall, I think a pretty sexy defense here by Serral. As I'm not sure if he should continue to chase, but he has a few more Lings on top of SCVs as well. Well, Serral was forced to cancel the hatchery in the bottom right side one time. That sucked a little, but then he double expanded. And now he's actually keeping both hatcheries safe. It is important that eventually he drones up a little bit, right? Because Serral is only at 64 drones. But if you have 64 drones and a rich Vespine geyser, that will make up for it a little bit. Probably watch a little bit. Not right now because I don't have him. But if I would have him, then absolutely. Serral sets up the surround. Maru is going to be forced to pick up these Marines and Hellbats again. But by doing that, he leaves his tanks on the ground. Obviously, could not save the tanks there. By the way, Combat Shield feels very late. We've had Stim forever. Did he must have forgotten Combat Shield because we're 8.5 minutes into the game. So, Maru was incredibly quick. when it came to getting Sim. Very late on Combat Shield. Not sure if that would have made a very big difference. Serral has not droned up for a while, though. That is something to point out. Obviously, when we say that, we do see him fire up 13 drones immediately, and that is something. I love how he does asking for some casual ZVT tips in Diamond 3. I love it, mate. Watching Serral against Maru, he's like, man, I just wonder, what could I do? Probably more drones, mate. More drones. More drones, more hatches, life's good. Infestation Pit is more than halfway done on the side of Serral. Obviously, the moment that that one comes online, Serral can open up the path to Hive, and we can really start partying on Serral's side. I think Maru has done an alrighty job in making sure he didn't take any follow-up damage after his aggression didn't really work out. And of course, we missed Combat Shield for a little while. Double Factory is now up and running, and he's producing 2 tanks at a time. Very difficult for Maru to find an opening. Serral's got the vision, and Serral's got the units, and Maru, that is not how you drop the main base of a Zerg, my friend, as he loses a medevac with 8 Marines inside of it. And the WTL production team is like, show us your pain! Maru's like, I don't care. I feel nothing. I feel the same as I did before I played the game today. Lings and Banes are going to crash into a couple of these Marines and tanks that are obviously off creep. So I think for a split second they had thought of going for the planetary, but then decided not to go for it. We'll settle for 8 SCVs and a bunch of the army units that he managed to take out. Because we have another Ling run by getting on top of tanks. There's no bio support here at all. So it's just a couple of Zerglings for 2 tanks and maybe 3 tanks. It is 3 tanks, baby. What the hell was that? John Jones, the Zergling? I don't know how it managed to take out that tank in the end, but it succeeded, baby. Well, that was like 10 Lings for 3 tanks. That's so big. So we now, after taking out that sensor tower, it's like, alright, that means that there is a good chance that my Banelings can find some success. And Maru was paying attention, but still a lovely idea. Sensor tower is back online, and Serral's probably going to try to kill it again immediately because he hates them as much as I do. Here come the Lings, Banes, Hydras, and maybe instead of just the sensor tower, we can get a whole lot more if these Banelings can connect with the Marines. They don't really, but look at the SCVs. They do take a lot of damage, and a couple of the tanks got picked off again. And guys, this is all before Hive. Before our sexy Hive upgrades have kicked in. Serral's dominating, man. Maru got a 2-0 victory over Serral in the group stage. And there was obviously some whine and moans like, oh, Terran goes, blah, blah. I feel like if we celebrate all the Zerg wins, you have to celebrate the Terran wins as well. Because Maru plays really good in those games. But that was a couple of days ago. Serral went back to the drawing board, and he has clearly done his homework. And he is coming back in full force with a vengeance. And it's almost like, guys, it is not always about balance. Sometimes it's just about who plays better in a specific series. Fucking hot take. Outrageous, I know, but you know, there are days that Serral is going to win, there are days that Maru is going to win. Maru won a couple days ago, and it's really starting to feel like today just belongs to Serral. Maru looked, obviously I would never say bad, right, because he has still done a lot of things right throughout this series, but I would say that this is not the cleanest Maru I've ever seen. There were quite a few beauty errors in every single game that I think if Maru is truly dialed in and he's sharp, that he wouldn't have made. And if he doesn't make those errors, maybe the games would have been mega close. Now this game is not 100% over yet, because we can start a little speech about Maru's ability to survive and drag games on into the late game. But 13 minutes in, I don't think Maru is really having a very good time. And I don't think a lot of you guys in the chat believe that Maru is going to win this game. Jester says, I don't know how you take a 5th on this map as Maru. Well, I think there are many ways where you can kind of easily take it, right? If you're out and about on the map and you're dominating and you're dealing damage, you're making it hard for the Zerg to move out. But yeah, at this point, I don't see how Maru can even dream about taking a 5th base. The only thing you can hope for is just try to get an invincible army out. Take a very good defensive trade, kind of like he did on Golden Aura, right? Where Serral went up that ramp and donated 60 supply and killed nothing. If something like that happens, I think that would open the door for Maru to go up to 5 bases and probably take the bottom side of the map. I'm not certain. I mean, he could choose, or maybe that center one, right? The rich Vespian guys, right? I guess that's the one that he would take. But I feel like to take that base, he needs to take a very good fight. And he is clearly preparing for it, where he's like, alright, tanks on the high ground everywhere, space them out properly. Let's hope Serral attacks into me. Let's hope my tanks do their thing, and then I can go up to 5 bases. Trio is such a disappointment. Here we go again, mate. Cue the son Andreas music. It's fine. It's not the grand finals, guys. It is upper bracket semi-final. Obviously, I would have loved to see a few more games between these two as well, because it is awesome if they're both on point, but hey, as I said, Maru was absolutely on point in the group stage. Got a very convincing 2-0. Today, it just kind of feels that Serral's playing a bit better than Maru. And if that is what it is, then that is what it is. Don't forget, we got way more games today. We get Reynor versus Hero as well. And then we get the winners of Reynor versus Hero versus most likely Serral. But we're not there yet. And we can never count out Maru. We say it time and time again. Those are the Widowmine shots that Maru is looking for. Sweet baby Jesus. That was minus 20 banings against a single mine. Alright. 1 or 2 more of those guys. And then getting your 5th base up and running. And then we're cooking. Very cool here, by the way, guys, how Serral leaves one Overlord empty, and that Overlord is leading the charge. So that Overlord takes all the missile turret shots. So then it's an empty Overlord that's dying, and then the Drop Lords show up, and they unload the links. I absolutely love that play by Serral. These are like the tiny touches that, I'm not saying we've never seen that before, of course, but I just love it. Well done. Kudos to Serral for thinking about that. Yes. This is pretty annoying for Serral to deal with, especially, for Maru. Especially because now he has moved a lot of units into his main, and that is the opening that Serral was looking for. And said, I hope you enjoyed being on 5 bases for approximately 12 seconds. But I cannot let you get away with that. Just how Serral knighted me on my birthday one time when I tried to take a gold, and he said he could not let me get away with that. He cannot let Maru get away with a 5th. Those stories are not totally the same, but you guys know what I mean. Time to unburrow these links right before. Like we make this attack, then we unburrow the links, and then those 2 links kill every single missile turret. Big Widowmine shot again, though. That's the second time that in that spot a massive Widowmine shot connects. Hydras would really love to kill this command center. I don't think there are any tanks. Well, there are tanks, but there were blinding clouds on top of those tanks. They're not very well hidden anymore, guys. Maybe it would have made a tiny bit more sense for Serral to wait until Maru couldn't cancel that anymore, or click on it a tiny bit harder with the Hydras. Because now in the end he didn't get the base. That's kind of frustrating. I don't know why the Vikings turned around 3 times there to take care of that Zergling. Is Maru F2ing, guys? In Dota and League casting, they talk a lot about the right click, right? Sometimes maybe we just need the right click as well. As now we have links and base coming in from the top left. That's the first time we see that. As the Baneling train is in pretty high numbers and is trying to blow up some goals. That is not going to work, with a lot of SCVs will fall here. Kill the command center, Yona! Come on! If that Hydra would have waved at it, it would have died. But it's okay. But still, I think a very successful attack. Tanks died, 25 SCVs died, and a couple ghosts, I believe, went down as well. So that is good. But it would have been nice to pick up the CC2. Do you like Dota, Roddy? I used to love Dota. And now I haven't played a game in 6 or 7 years. This just got intimidating, man. So many things changed then. I used to be very good in it, and now I'm mega bad. Because I don't know what items to get, I don't know what heroes to build. And also I find it very addictive. And I don't want to see myself sit here and play 12 hours of Dota a day. Because I am a man with zero discipline and zero self-control. If you guys think that Reynor plays a lot of League, imagine if I ever reinstall Dota, guys. You guys will lose me. You guys might even miss me. So we're not gonna do that. Couple of the tanks getting picked off as the Sharking Infested does get revealed by that scan. Maru does indeed feel mega dead. I'm pretty confident in saying that he's mega dead. But if there is that 0.1% chance that Serral takes a terrible fight near mines and planetaries, people get angry at me for counting Maru out, and I'm a biased Serral fanboy. But Serral has just taken complete control of this map, and honestly has taken complete control of this series. From the very beginning till the very end. That it started off with a Widowmine drop on Heartlet. That was a bit of an odd opening by Maru. Maybe he was feeling feisty today and he wanted to spice things up a little bit. But that opening didn't work out. In game 2 we lost that Banshee in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's just a few errors that you cannot make against Serral. I think Serral's playing very well today. And Maru did not bring his A game. I'm not gonna say that he played bad because that's way too insulting, and obviously these guys, they never play actually bad. But Maru can do better, and I think he knows that he can do better. Tanks are gonna get picked off, Planetary Fortress is gonna get picked off, and at this point, you know, honestly, it's a little bit of that hopium or the copium or whatever the kids call it these days. Because it's just not getting any better. This game is not going anywhere. And I think Maru knows that. He's just hoping for one more of those Golden Aura fights, I guess, but Serral's even richer on this map than he was on Golden Aura. Lings and Banes are gonna try to finally take care of all of these girls. Plenty of Overseers in the mix as well, so personal cloaking won't do a thing, and I believe that this is kind of it, man. Maru is going to wave the white flag. GG gets called. It's another trio in the playoffs of the Masters Coliseum. The man who lost 0-2 against Maru in the group stage gets revenge and gets not a stunning performance. Is that a 6-0 run so far for Serral in the playoffs? Because I think he took care of... Man, he's got it out for ONSYDE, eh? Did he like 3-0 Solar and now 3-0 Maru? You look at these runs and you really wonder, why do we never win WTO Code S? Do the Basilisk Zergs actually hate Roddy? And they'll just win every single other tournament out there. Other than the one where Roddy can pretend that he's going to be a champion as well. Very strong run by Yona. 3-0 and 3-0. As he will advance into the upper bracket finals. If you're a massive Serral fan, don't go anywhere, guys. Because there will be more Serral. Serral is going to duke it out with the winner of our next best of 5, and that will be Reynor versus Hero. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. "63% of you guys believed in Serral to win today." Wow, that's 2 million channel points, by the way. What the hell? So many. Normally, we never bet that many in the first series of the day. 3 million channel points awarded to 79 viewers. 1 point. Damn, you guys went crazy. I guess we had a lot of max bets. Reynor versus Hero, best of 5. We'll give the team tags. Basilisk, Reynor, Dragon. Does that fit? Kaisi, Gaming, Hero. I think this is the way we spell his name properly. Give you guys 15 minutes, even though I don't think we really need 15 minutes. But nah, let's just do 10 minutes. 15 minutes is too long. We're gonna make it 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little break. And after that, I will be back, guys, with a fun PvZ. We've got some Xerac. We've got some Protoss. Can Protoss win? Or are you guys already typing out the Reddit threads where Protoss can't win? And you're just only waiting for the screenshot to see what kind of a score they lose with. Go ahead and make your threads right now and just hit send immediately the moment that final GG is called, if Reynor does win the series. That's the way you do it, baby. I'll take a little break. I'll see you guys real soon. PvZ coming up.